Hey there, happy Tuesday. I hope your day is off to a great start. I am Shannon Milligan at RVA Home Team, powered by EXP Realty. Every Tuesday, I come to you with buyer tips, and every Thursday, we go over some seller tips. This week, we are going to talk about step 5, 6, and 7 in the home buying process out of 10. Last week, we went over the other steps, and those are selecting a realtor, obtaining your financial approval, selecting properties to view, and actually viewing properties. Today we're going to talk about step 5, 6, and 7. So let's just get right down to it. Step 5, you're going to write an offer to purchase a home. That's right, you went out and you toured and you found a great home, and now it's time for you to write an offer. So what do you need to consider when writing an offer? Okay, these are some really important things you need to ask yourself when you're writing that offer. Do I need or want to ask for the appliances? So we're going to do another episode on what stays, what conveys, but typically anything that's built in will stay. But things that sometimes don't stay are things like the refrigerator, washer, and dryer, because they are put in with the plug. So are you going to ask for the washer, the dryer, the refrigerator? How much do you want to offer? You need to look at the comparables of other homes that have sold around the area, have the same fixtures, the same kind of features, the same square footage, that kind of thing. You need to take that into consideration. Do you really want the house? Like if you really want it, and if it's a hot house, how much are you going to offer? Sometimes you have to offer over asking, depending on what area it is in. So how much do you want to offer? Just consult with us. We'll help you on, guiding you in what is an acceptable offer. Let's see. Are you going to ask the seller for closing costs? What are closing costs? That is where you can ask the seller for some money for assistance for you to close on the property. We do see closing costs still, even though it's a seller's market. When it's more of a seller's market, you see less and less closing costs, but you do see it in some pockets. That is where maybe you need $5,000 to help you with the closing costs. My philosophy on that is it doesn't hurt to ask unless it's a hot house and you're in multiple bid. If you're in multiple bid and if it's a really popular house, you need to get rid of those seller concessions. You don't want to ask for it. But do you need them? That's a question to ask if you're going to write an offer. How much earnest money should you put down? Earnest money is the amount of money you're willing to forfeit should you walk away for no reason at all. I'm not talking about contingencies. You can walk away on home inspection for certain things and on HOA. I'm talking about if you just get cold feet and you're like, oh, I'm out. You're going to lose some money. So that's good faith. It's showing the the seller that you're serious. So how much earnest money are you willing to put down? We like to see about 1% here in Richmond. So if it's a $200,000 home, we'd like to see a $2,000 earnest money check. It doesn't, it gets applied at the end to your closing. So an attorney or a title company or sometimes the brokerages will hold that. It does get deposited, but then it gets applied to your closing costs at the end. What date do you want to close? Do you have a rental agreement, and does that last so long? Or do you need to be in 30 days? Do you need to be in 60 days? When do you need to close? Who's going to represent you in the closing? Are you going to use a title company? We love Aurora Title. We love our girls over there. We also love Chaplin and Qureshi as attorneys. So who's going to be your closing company? How long of an inspection time do you need? Typically, we see 10 to 14 days inspection times, but how long do you need? You know, if you're in multiple bid and maybe 10 days sounds more attractive to them than 14 days, that's something we can help you with. How long of an inspection do you need? Are you going to ask the seller for a home warranty? A home warranty is something that will help protect the home for about a year. Sometimes you can get somebody to pay for 2 years, but are you going to ask for that? I know that seems kind of trivial, but if you are in multiple bid, you might not want to ask for that. You might want to pay for that yourself. And finally, what deadline do you want to give the seller to respond? I like to give about 24 hours. That being said, if it's a hot home and you know they're going to get other offers, we may want to give them a shorter deadline so that they have to respond to yours. These are all things that you're going to want to consider when you are writing an offer to purchase. So that's step 5. Step 6 is we're going to actually negotiate the terms. So we successfully submitted your offer, and we're going to create a win-win between you and the seller. Here is what you need to talk about amongst yourself or with a loved one. What are you willing to compromise on? can you or do you want to offer more in price? So if you're in that multiple bid situation, do you want to go up in price? Do you need closing costs? We just addressed that in the last one. Are you flexible on the closing date? And finally, should you purchase your own home warranty? Again, these are things that maybe you can compromise on. It's good to know what you're willing to compromise. Phone call, I've been blowing up all day. So negotiating terms is step 6, and we will definitely help you with that. And number 7, step 7 is accepting the contract. This means that we've had a meeting of the minds. It means the sellers have agreed to your terms, you've agreed to the seller's terms, and you're now under contract. So the next 2 weeks will feel like a little bit of a whirlwind because real estate is very much a hurry up and wait game. So you're going to go under contract and immediately you're going to have to schedule the inspections, which is something we take care of everything. We will help you with, and we can help you find a great inspector. We love capital home inspections here at RVA Home Team. So just to recap, step 5 is writing an offer to purchase. We already talked about what you need to consider in writing an offer. Step 6 is negotiating those terms. And step 7 is accepting the contract. One thing I want to mention, since this is a seller's market, and we do have a lot of properties that are going quickly, especially in that 200 to 300 range, you do encounter multiple bid situations a lot. And something that we like to use is called an escalation clause. So let's say a house is $250,000 and there's 6 offers, which is not uncommon. Maybe you offer $250,000, but we put an escalation clause in there that says, I will pay $1,500 over the next bona fide offer up into $265,000 or whatever that cap is. That is a tool in our toolbox that we will utilize when it's appropriate, and if you agree to it, that will help you win a house. Other terms, maybe seller will want to rent back to try to win a property. I don't always advise it, but sometimes it works and it'll help you win. So maybe you'll give them a rent back and that makes the terms more acceptable to them. There's a whole host of different things that we can get into with that. And if you have some specific questions, I'm happy to answer them for you. Thursday, I will be going live talking about sellers. So we're going to go through that process. You hear some dogs barking, I apologize. I'm home today. My office is almost built. It will be done by this time next week. I'm super excited. But next Tuesday, we will continue, we will finish up with the home buying process on step 8, which is removing contingencies. That's going to be a good one to tune in for because we're going to talk about what are certain contingencies to remove. Step 9 is going to be obtaining funds. And then step 10, we're going to talk about actually closing the property. The week after that, we're going to get into different types of home sales and do's and don'ts. So we have a whole host of things to go over with you all. As always, I'm Shannon Milligan at RVA Home Team, powered by EXP Realty. If you have some questions, feel free to put it in the comments below. I'm happy to answer it there. Or if you feel a little timid to put it there or you have a private question, send me a message. I'm happy to answer it. And if you would like a free copy of our home buying process, which is your guide from contract to close, it's something I wrote. It's about 16 pages. Put it in the comments or send me a message. I'm happy to send this out to you. I've been sending a bunch of these out the last couple weeks. It's just really great information, especially if you're local to Richmond. If you're not local to Richmond, it's still kind of good to get an idea of the process, and I am happy to send it to you. Let's see if you guys have any questions here before I go. Leanne, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Lisa, love the escalation clause. The escalation clause is a great little tool in that bag of tricks to help you win properties. You just have to set your cap, and you also have to look at appraisal issues, and that's something that we as your realtors can help you determine. If you go up to that cap, is it going to appraise if you go there? And that's definitely something we can help you with. It is a great tool. Well, guys, I thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you will come join me on Thursday where we talk about some more seller issues and go through that process. If you need to get a hold of me, 804-248-8207. Now go, have a successful day, and I'll talk to you soon.